Ladies and gentlemen, when we experience the pain of someone leaving our life, our first instinct is often to ask why. It feels unfair, confusing, and deeply personal. But what if I told you that what feels like a loss is often a part of something much bigger, a design, a plan that we can't fully comprehend in the moment? Life is like a massive, intricate puzzle, and we only see the pieces directly in front of us. We focus on what's missing, what doesn't seem to fit, and what feels incomplete. But God, He sees the entire puzzle. He knows how every piece connects, how every event in your life leads you closer to where you're meant to be. Think about the times in your life when you were holding on to someone or something that wasn't truly serving you. Maybe it was a friendship that drained your energy, or a relationship that made you question your worth. We often cling to what's familiar because it feels safe, even when it's not good for us. But God knows that your potential isn't tied to staying comfortable. He understands that for you to grow, there are people who must step aside. Their chapter in your life has ended, and holding on to them would only limit the new opportunities and relationships waiting to enter. It's hard to see this in the moment. When someone walks away, it feels like rejection, but rejection isn't the end. It's redirection. God isn't removing them to harm you. He's clearing space for what truly aligns with your purpose. Imagine you're driving to a destination, but the road is blocked. At first, it feels frustrating, but then that's how it works when God steps in. He redirects you even when it's painful because He knows there's a better path ahead. There are also times when people leave your life, not because they were bad or toxic, but because their role in your journey is complete. Every person you encounter teaches you something about love, trust, patience, or even heartbreak. They play their part, help you grow, and when their purpose is fulfilled, they move on. It's not about blaming them or blaming yourself. It's about recognizing that their departure is part of the greater story being written for you. And let's not forget that sometimes the person being removed isn't the problem. You are. Maybe you're leaning too much on others, neglecting your own growth, or ignoring the call to step into a stronger version of yourself. By removing certain people, God pushes you to confront those areas where you need to evolve. He's saying it's time for you to rely on me, not on them. It's time for you to trust in your potential, not in their validation. So when someone leaves, remember, you're not losing, you're gaining. You're gaining clarity, growth, and alignment with the path you're truly meant to walk. It's all part of the bigger picture, one that's being beautifully and intentionally crafted just for you. Loss is one of life's most universal experiences, yet it's also one of the most misunderstood. When we lose someone, whether it's through a breakup, a falling out, or even someone choosing to walk away from us, the immediate reaction is to feel pain, confusion, and maybe even anger. It's natural to question why it happened, why they left, or why things couldn't stay the same. But the truth is, loss is a powerful teacher. It's through the discomfort and hurt that we often gain the wisdom and strength we never knew we needed. When someone exits our life, it creates a void, and in that space of absence, we're forced to reflect, to reevaluate, and to rebuild. These moments can be some of the most transformative in our lives. Loss strips us of the distractions that come from relying on others, and it asks us to look inward. It's in these moments of solitude that we discover our resilience. We learn what we're capable of handling, even when it feels like we can't take another step. Loss teaches us self-worth in ways that comfort and stability never could. When someone leaves, especially if we didn't expect it or didn't want it, we're often left feeling unworthy or not enough. But over time, if we allow ourselves to grow, we realize that their departure wasn't a reflection of our value. Instead, it was an opportunity to recognize that our worth isn't tied to their presence. It's a chance to see that we are whole, even when someone else is no longer by our side. Every loss carries a lesson, and sometimes that lesson is about boundaries. It's about recognizing when someone wasn't treating you the way you deserved, even if you ignored it in the moment. Other times, it's a lesson in letting go of control. We can't force people to stay in our lives, and we can't always change the outcomes we want. But we can control how we respond. We can choose to view the loss as a step toward something better, rather than an ending that defines us. In many ways, loss is like a refining fire. It burns, yes, but it also purifies. It removes what no longer serves us and leaves behind a stronger, more resilient version of who we are. Think about the times in your life when you faced a setback or a heartbreak. Didn't those experiences shape you? Didn't they teach you something you carry with you today? That's the power of loss. It hurts, but it also helps. And perhaps the most profound lesson in loss is this: it reminds us of the importance of faith. Faith that the pain won't last forever. Faith that better days are ahead. Faith that what you've lost is making room for something greater. Loss isn't just about what's gone, it's about what's to come. When you lean into the lessons it brings, you'll find that every ending has the potential to be a new beginning. Life moves in seasons, and each one serves a unique purpose. Some seasons are filled with abundance, growth, and connection, while others bring challenges, change, and moments of solitude. Just as the natural world transitions from spring to summer, autumn to winter, so too do our relationships, opportunities, and circumstances follow a similar rhythm. One of the hardest truths to accept is that not everyone is meant to walk with us through every season of life. Some people are here for a specific time to fulfill a role, teach us a lesson, or share a moment. And when their purpose in our journey is complete, they leave. It's not easy to let go. We grow attached to the people and things that make us feel secure and comfortable. We often believe that the connections we've formed should last forever, and when they don't, we feel like something has gone wrong. But not every relationship or experience is meant to be permanent. Some are meant to serve a season in your life, and their departure isn't a failure. It's part of the natural flow of growth. Think about a tree in autumn. Its leaves fall, not because the tree is dying, but because it's preparing for the next phase of its life. In the same way, people and opportunities may leave your life to make room for something new. If the tree held on to its dead leaves, it wouldn't have the energy to grow fresh ones in spring. This is a powerful metaphor for our own lives. We have to let go of what no longer serves us to make space for what's coming next. Sometimes the people who leave us do so because their role in our story is complete. Maybe they were there to help you through a specific challenge, to inspire you, or to show you something about yourself. Once that purpose has been fulfilled, their presence is no longer necessary for your growth. This doesn't diminish the value of the relationship. It simply means that it served its purpose. Other times, people leave because you're outgrowing them. As you step into a new season of your life, your priorities, goals, and mindset shift. You may find that the relationships that once felt aligned no longer resonate with who you're becoming. It's not about blame or fault. It's about understanding that growth often requires change. Holding on to relationships that no longer align with your path can hold you back from stepping into your next season. Recognizing the seasons of life also helps us approach change with gratitude rather than resistance. Instead of focusing on the loss, we can choose to celebrate the moments we shared and the lessons we learned. Every season, whether filled with joy or pain, contributes to our journey. The people who leave aren't failures or mistakes. They're stepping stones that help us move forward. By embracing the seasons of life, we find peace in knowing that every ending is a natural part of the cycle. It's not the conclusion of your story, it's the beginning of a new chapter, one filled with growth, discovery, and the promise of what's yet to come. When someone leaves your life, it's easy to feel hurt, confused, or even betrayed. You might find yourself questioning their motives, replaying every interaction, or wondering what you could have done differently. But what if their departure wasn't about rejection? What if it was about protection? Sometimes, when God takes someone out of your life, it's not to punish you, it's to shield you from harm or redirect you towards something far better than you could imagine. Imagine a parent watching their child reach for something dangerous like a hot stove or a sharp object. The child might get upset when a parent pulls them away because they don't understand the danger. Similarly, we don't always recognize the harm that certain relationships or situations could bring into our lives. We hold on to people and circumstances because they feel familiar, comforting, or exciting, even if they're not good for us. But God, in His infinite wisdom, sees the bigger picture. He knows what lies ahead, and He removes certain people or opportunities to protect you from pain, heartbreak, or setbacks that you can't yet see. Sometimes this protection looks like rejection. It might be a relationship that ends abruptly, or a person who distances themselves without explanation. In the moment, it feels like a loss. But over time, as you gain clarity, you begin to see things you couldn't see before. Maybe that person wasn't as trustworthy as you believed. Maybe their presence in your life was causing you to compromise your values, your happiness, or your growth. Or perhaps they were limiting your potential, keeping you from stepping into the greatness you were meant to achieve. Redirection is another form of protection. When someone leaves, it creates space for new opportunities, new relationships, and new experiences that align more closely with your purpose. Sometimes we get so focused on one path that we fail to see the possibilities that exist beyond it. God may close a door to force you to look for another one that leads to something better. It's not always easy to trust this process, especially when you're in the middle of the transition, but faith in the redirection can make all the difference. Think about the times in your life when something didn't work out the way you wanted, only for you to later realize it was a blessing in disguise. Maybe a relationship ended and it hurt deeply, but in the aftermath, you found yourself growing stronger, more confident, and more self-awareness. Or maybe losing that job or opportunity led you to a path that aligned more closely with your true passions and talents. In these moments, it becomes clear that what felt like loss was actually protection and guidance. Trusting God's redirection requires letting go of what we think is best and opening ourselves to the possibilities He has in store. It's about understanding that His plans are always greater than ours, even when we don't understand them in the moment. When someone leaves, it's not the end, it's often the beginning of something far greater than you ever imagined. When someone is removed from your life, it can feel like the rug has been pulled out from under you. Their absence leaves a void, and it's natural to feel disoriented and unsure of how to move forward, but often this period of solitude is not a punishment, it's an invitation. It's an opportunity to turn inward, to look at yourself more closely, and to rediscover who you are outside of the relationship or situation that just ended. In fact, some of the most profound self-discovery happens in the moments when we are left alone. When someone exits your life, it creates a space. And in that space, you are left with yourself, your thoughts, your emotions, and your strengths. At first, this can feel overwhelming, especially if you're used to leaning on others for validation or direction. But this solitude is a gift. It allows you to reconnect with parts of yourself that may have been overshadowed or neglected in the presence of others. It's a chance to ask yourself questions like, what truly matters to me? What do I want for my life? Who am I without this person? In these moments of quiet reflection, you often discover just how strong and capable you are. When we lose someone, we're forced to stand on our own 2 feet. And while this can feel daunting, it also builds resilience. You realize that you don't need anyone else to complete you because you are already whole. You begin to see that your worth is not determined by who stays or who leaves, but by the value you bring to yourself and the world. This time of solitude is also a chance to focus on your personal growth. When you're no longer pouring energy into maintaining a relationship that has run its course, you have more time and space to invest in yourself. You can take up new hobbies, explore interests you've always been curious about, or work toward goals that align with your passions. It's an opportunity to prioritize your mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. You might find yourself developing habits that nurture your health, deepening your faith, or cultivating a stronger sense of inner peace. And let's not forget that solitude also strengthens your connection to God. When you're no longer distracted by the noise of certain relationships, you have the chance to hear his voice more clearly. You can lean into your faith, seeking guidance, strength, and reassurance that his plans for you are good. This spiritual connection often provides the clarity and perspective you need to move forward with confidence and trust. What's most beautiful about this process is that it prepares you for what's next. By rediscovering yourself, by growing stronger and more aligned with your purpose, you become ready to welcome new relationships and opportunities that truly align with who you are. The people who are meant to walk with you in this new season will find you, not because you need them to complete you, but because they complement the strong, whole person you've become. Solitude is not the end of the story. It's the beginning of becoming your truest self. When someone leaves your life, it's easy to feel bitter, resentful, or hurt. It's human to focus on what was lost, the time invested, or the pain caused. But one of the most transformative shifts you can make is to replace resentment with gratitude. Gratitude doesn't deny the hurt or pretend the loss didn't happen. Instead, it allows you to reframe the experience and find value in what it taught you. When you choose to see the lessons, growth, and opportunities that emerge from someone's absence, you unlock a powerful perspective. Every loss has something to teach, and every ending holds the seeds of a new beginning. Think about the people who have left your life. Some of them may have brought joy and love while they were with you, even if their time in your life was temporary. Others may have challenged you, hurt you, or even betrayed your trust. No matter how the relationship ended, there is something to learn. Maybe they showed you what you deserve in a relationship by teaching you what you don't. Maybe they inspired you to set stronger boundaries, to stand up for yourself, or to prioritize your happiness. Even the most painful experiences can become powerful lessons if you approach them with an open heart and a willingness to grow. Gratitude also allows you to shift your focus from what was taken away to what remains and what lies ahead. When you lose someone, it's natural to feel like there's a void, but that space is an opportunity. It's a chance to invite better relationships, healthier connections, and new opportunities into your life. If you're holding on to bitterness or regret, it's like trying to carry extra baggage. You can't fully embrace what's coming because you're weighed down by the past. Gratitude helps you release that weight and make room for the new blessings that are on their way. Another beautiful aspect of gratitude is that it reminds you of your own growth. When you reflect on what you've been through, you start to see how far you've come. You recognize your resilience, your strength, and your ability to overcome challenges. You may even find yourself thanking the people who left because their absence pushed you to grow in ways you never would have otherwise. Maybe it forced you to become more independent. to discover your own voice or to rely more on your faith. Their departure, while painful, may have been the very thing that set you on the path to becoming the person you are today. Finally, gratitude keeps your heart open. It allows you to approach life with a sense of hope and trust, knowing that even in loss, there is purpose. When you choose to be grateful for the lessons and growth that come from life's challenges, you begin to see every experience, good or bad, as part of a greater plan. Gratitude doesn't mean you have to forget the pain or pretend it didn't matter. It means acknowledging it, learning from it, and finding peace in the belief that what's ahead will be even greater than what was left behind. In life, people will come and go, doors will open and close, and seasons will shift. It's a cycle that may feel confusing or painful in the moment, but when you step back and trust the process, you begin to see the beauty in it all. God doesn't take people out of your life to punish you or leave you empty. He does it to protect you, prepare you, and guide you towards something far greater. Every loss, every ending is part of a bigger plan, one that's always working for your good. Through the pain, you gain clarity. Through the solitude, you discover strength. Through the lessons, you grow into the person you were meant to be. When you stop fighting the changes and instead lean into them with faith, you'll find that each person who left, each relationship that ended, played a vital role in shaping your journey. So instead of clinging to what was, embrace what is and what's to come. Trust that the people meant to stay will remain, and those who leave were meant to make room for something better. Every goodbye is not just an ending, it's also a beginning. It's an opportunity for growth, transformation, and alignment with the purpose God has for you. Let go with grace, trust with faith, and move forward with gratitude. Remember, God doesn't make mistakes. If He took them out, there's a reason. And that reason is to make space for the extraordinary blessings that are still waiting ahead.